Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me a video of something similar to this created in an Adobe Illustrator, and he suggested it'd be a good video, and it is for us Corel Draw user. This is really unique. You're going to learn a few tools and very, bunch of variations you can have. You can have big snowflakes or little small snowflake. So I just went to the internet and got a snowflake. That's all I did, and I traced it. And I got a pretty nice one, I think. So all you have to do is go to the internet and search clip art snowflake. And there's plenty of them out there, and just pick one that'll trace good. But there's some rules, or not rules, but some ways you got to go about this to make it work. So we're going to start in the center of the page. I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page, and I'm going to draw an ellipse. Right now, it doesn't matter what size it is. I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. As long as all of your snowflakes are in there, and then you've got to have the circle or the ellipse selected, and then we're going to go to Effects and Lens, and we're going to go up here to Fisheye, and that's what you get. But you can raise this, and this would be your preference. Go to like 200 and hit Enter. And then you need to go to Frozen. And what that does, that freezes that clip art into there. Now there's one, every once in a while that happens, but we're going to go to Object, Group, and ungroup it and see if we can't just grab that one snowflake, and we can. I'm actually going to right now take away the outline, because we can make the outline any size we want later. Now this is all separated. So we're going to Control G to group it together, and then we're going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. I just like working in the center of the page, and there's a couple of reasons. And then you could go fancy. I didn't do a great job on this, but it's kind of neat, and you could maybe do a better job on it. And let's just take this, and let's take I'm going to go ahead and go to a polygon tool. I'm going to go like 20 points, and then I'm going to draw a polygon. But then I'm going to take my shape tool, and I'm going to bring this in just ever so slightly, maybe a little bit more. Then I'm going to go to Object and convert it to a curve, because I want to round off these corners. I'm going to go to Windows, Dockers, and corners, corners, and I'm going to round them off a ½ an inch. Radius is too much, 0.1, because I'm drawing either smaller. So you get that effect. I'm going to go ahead and close these so they won't be in our way. Now this is where what I would do now is hit P, put it in the center of the page. Well, not yet. Let me move it out of the way, because I want to smush it down. Now I'm going to set my nudge. So now let's go ahead and make this the size of our 11. So I'm going to make it 3.5 inches. So I'm going to size this down. And there's a couple of different ways you could do this. And I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. Now I'm going to take my nudge factor and set it on 4, which is. And I'm going to take that, and I'm actually going to smart fill it with any color and move it over. And then I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to trim it. And what that did, that took out a white area so that we can write in. And also I need to double check, because whenever you use the lens tool, you get a white background. Let's go to Object, Order, back a page. I should have already done that, but we can do it now. I'm going to go up to Object, Group, and ungroup. And then I'm going to click on some white, and you can see it's white down here. For some reason, I'm CMYK, which I shouldn't be. And I'm going to delete it. So there we have a transparent background. Now what I'm going to do is take this line and make it thicker. Make it something thicker than a hairline. That's too thick. I just want a little accent. And then I'm going to turn it black by right-clicking, and I'm going to hit P. So it takes up the space that I trimmed out. So that would be, for a laser engraver, whether this is the Epilogue put that Adobe Illustrator snowflake deal like this on and they're using an epilogue. I think they're doing it with a gavel laser, fiber laser, maybe marking a stainless steel disc. This is, to me, is for wood. And then we're just going to write whatever you want to write. And then go up to center justified and put it in the center. And then I'm going to change the font to something a little fancy. I like Hello Honey. And then we can reduce it in size. And we're going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. It needs to go a little bit up or down. We could now change, and I've got a little bitty nib right there I need to get rid of. That worked. Anyway, you don't need to hit the calculator. You just need to hit the delete button. I'm going to change my nudge factor to something like 0.01. And I'm going to grab my Hello Honey, and I'm just going to nudge it up a little bit just to kind of get it. Now, evidently, I opened up somebody else's deal. You really want to have RGB and all this stuff. So if you're a laser engraver, you want to make sure you're using RGB. So there you have our deal. Now, if you remember, we made this 3.5 inches. So let's make an ellipse. Matter of fact, let's group this together, Control G. Let's take an ellipse. And I want to leave a little bit of wood, so I'm going to leave it 3.56. And then I'm going to hit P. And see, that way I've got a little bit of wood left around my engraving, because I don't want to cut out those ones that are kind of going in infinity. I'm going to change my nudge factor back to 4. And I'm going to grab that line, hopefully, and I'm going to hit, whoop, I must not have changed it to 4. Well, my number must be locked or unlocked. And now we're going to grab that and move that over. Now you could do two things. You could cut it out and put a hole in your snowflake, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Or we can put a hole up on here. And if you watch my videos lately on the one with the trees, I had kind of came up with a really neat, unique idea on that. I'll put a link to that if you want to figure out how to make that hole a little bit better. Now we're going to draw another ellipse. And and since I can't really work in the center of the page, I'm going to go to it, snap to the center. Then I'm going to hold down the control button, and I'm going to go about halfway. Now, I really want to, I can take it now and virtual segment delete key, and that'll work. But don't forget, we're going to use the Smart Fill tool, and then draw like a 1/4 inch hole. And I'm going to hit P. Well, it won't work now. So if I go here, it'll go to the center. And then I'm going to hold down the control button. Well, that didn't work. But you can just visually get it in that center of that item. Now, I strongly suggest you use the Smart Fill tool to fill that in. And what that does, that's going to weld all that stuff together. Now, I moved it. I shouldn't have. I'm going to nudge it over because we want to nudge it back. I'm going to left click, right click, make sure it's a hairline, make sure it's in red. And see, now it's all one piece where this is several pieces. But because I nudged and did not move it, I can nudge that right back. Now my circle does go down into the, I really like the new top. I should have brought that in. I'll put a video at how I drew that top part because it actually looks like a real ball holder. So I think that young man that sent me that idea, and maybe you can make from some of these before Christmas. And everybody have a great holiday. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.